I didn't know the story until until they were actually filming the show. I mean the documentary, and that's when I learned about that. I was like, holy shit! I knew his mom died, but I didn't know how she died. And you know, um,
If you go back and look at the newspapers from that era, which is something I've personally spent a lot of time doing online, you're going to find a whole lot of people died under weird circumstances like that that seemed related to the police. And I can't really get into the cause because I don't know it. But the best I've got suspicions.
well, yeah, and that's about all we've got as well. Like I said, I mean, Chris and we left Mississippi at the end of 2003, and while this was like basically all you had was like internet. I mean, this was before Facebook and stuff, so you didn't really, and you texted people and stuff like that, so that's how you found out about stuff. And we had heard he had killed himself, and I had found I think on his IMDb page there was comments and people were speculating about why he died and why he killed himself. And the only thing that I can think of is because the money ran out. Because he got a sizable amount of money when his mom died, right? Or was it? How did?
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. As I recall, and keep in mind, this is like '90s money. This isn't modern standards. But as I recall, he got something like $100,000.
Right.
And he pretty well lived relatively cheaply, but with some big purchases, and he always ate out. He didn't know how to fucking feed himself. But
well, you saw that stove, right? There was nothing.
He was making a lot of money online, man. Like, I want to say a lot. And I can tell you right now, somebody was ransoming him out of his money and hitting his bank account intermittently. And so he took all of his money out and put it into PayPal, and then it got locked. Like, he got locked out somehow, which is pretty bizarre. But he was, look, man, Shane associated with some weird people. You got me? And it's a sensitive subject for everybody who's here. I'm not trying to open old wounds or anything like that. But if you want some context,
right.
Shane associated with some very bizarre people. In that era, some of the people he was in communication with were associated with music, the music scene, Hollywood, and I'm not trying to sound like one of those people, but specifically with like industrial music. This is something we talked about a lot. I introduced him to some of those people because I knew some folks like Paul Raven, and some people associated with like Skinny Puppy. And so I know he was in communication with them. And he was in communication with what's her name? Tina Weymouth. He was in communication though with Genesis Peorage. And if you look into the history around that guy, you can fall down some real deep rabbit holes, and they tie back to Charles Manson. So I can't give you any more than that, but I have some uncomfortable feelings related to all that, and I can't really be any more clear than that.
Well, I'm trying to pull this up here. Apparently, no, that's not it. Screw it. I'll just read it here. So, I was reading in one of the I think it was on IMDb, and what it said was in one of the fun facts or whatever was that before he died, he was supposed to do some collaboration with Hassel Adkins. Do you know who that is?
Yeah. So one of the stories about
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was the one being an asshole.
You rude motherfuckers. Go ahead.
So when Shane killed himself, Danielle, who we mentioned before, she's like Madonna, just says the one name. She got on that computer. She's smart. She got on that computer and immediately started like saving stuff and going through history and figuring out. So according to Danielle, Shane he had added to his IMDb trivia that like the date he died because he's about to kill himself. And he, according to the time stamps of when this had happened, it appeared to Danielle like Shane had probably gone into his room and closed everything up and was about to fall asleep into death. And then he remembered, oh, Hazel! So Hazel Atkins is a I don't want to really call him a folk artist. I mean folk art like an outsider artist. So his stuff falls into the country western spectrum. And there's a really great movie called R.I.P. Rest in Pieces about the artist Joe Coleman. So if you're familiar with that flick, Hazel Atkins appears in that movie. But anyway, he's just this real eccentric guy. He's making country music, painting, and doing outsider art type of stuff. Shane had to drop out of that collaboration to run for sheriff. So, but the funny thing to me is Shane's sitting there dying from carbon monoxide poisoning. He's like, oh wait, let me get up real quick and log back into IMDb so the world can know that he almost collaborated.
Whenever I think about that, I always laugh. Like it's a final joke from him, live by the grill, die by the grill.
Yeah, that dude wasn't grilling nothing. Oh, and real quick, part of the quickness was Shane was raised by his great-grandparents after his mother's murder. His great-grandparents.
Yeah, his grandmother did.
When he died, the grandparents swooped in, threw away anything that was remotely offensive or scary, and sold the rest of the shit. So, someone in Columbus, Mississippi, bought the grill, or maybe there were two grills. Somebody bought those things at a yard sale, and I guess they've enjoyed some fine meats.
I hope Shane haunted those fucking grills.
Oh no, but this is my favorite. Some woman, because our friend Brian Gibson, who's also a musician and artist, he was trying to buy some of his stuff back because you don't want to be leaving your stuff at some guy's house that's going to kill himself. So Brian's at the yard sale to buy back his records and stuff. And he overhears this older woman saying, "Oh, this will look great in my grandchild's nursery." She's holding one of those Gacy paintings we saw in the movie. So somewhere in Columbus, Mississippi, an African American child grew up looking at Poe the Clown. So
that's astounding.
And Shane, I live right up the street from where Shane's buried because some of us like Columbus, you archy bastard. And yeah, Shane does have a tombstone, but it's a tombstone, it's a chunk of marble that our friend Danielle put there because they never even bought him a tombstone. I mean,
that's a little they cared for him, man. But one thing I meant to bring up before, because you were saying in terms of collaboration, he had gone with, I think, Aaron Dunn to do a movie called Terror Tunes 2, and he was playing the son of Satan. Who did that movie?
That's Joe Castro. Joe Castro. It was now I don't know when the last time he's directed a film, but he does special effects work. I think exclusively now.
He's been associated with the porn circles forever, right?
Correct. Correct. Yeah. It was actually Alex Barton and I rented the first Terror Tunes from Hollywood Video, and we knew that Shane had sent photographs of himself off to Lloyd Kaufman at Troma, and that was one of his bucket list things. He wanted to be in a exploitation movie, and we didn't know Shane. We had just met him. What's that?
I said, who doesn't want to be in an exploitation?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. So yeah, Shane contacted Joe Castro and ends up playing the son of Satan in Terror Tunes 2. Yeah.
Did he?
Porn stars are saying like, Joe's a genius.
Did they fly him out and everything, or did he have to do that on his dime?
Joe Castro, if you're listening, I apologize if this is incorrect. I believe it was more like, if you can get out here, you're in the movie, buddy.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
I think Shane slept on dude's couch, like flies into town, sleeps on his couch, wakes up the next day, shoots the scene, and then I think got on the plane that night to come back home. Shane bought 2 tickets so he wouldn't have to sit next to anybody.
Well, I mean, can you blame him?
Oh, that little Ford Ranger we used to drive around with him in, and he just spit on the dash.
Oh
God! Oh my God!
Yeah, the dash. I think one time he also vomited there.
Yeah, that's.
I'm sure it was probably more than one occasion he vomited in that truck. I would bet all of your money on that for sure.